Om Shanti. So, today Baba talks about bodily relations and bodily religions. We are mostly in the awareness of bodily relations and bodily religions. And that is an aspect of ego. And Baba says, and I once saw a very good image, and there was this man, and that man was very light, but he had a big head, and that head was a symbolic of ego. And then he was carrying his head, on a cart, and he was pulling that cart. So it's his own head that's lying on the cart, and then he, a frail man, is pulling that burden of his head on the cart. And all day he's getting tired with that. And that head symbolized ego. So this is the truth of life. I, the soul, am very light, free. I'm imperishable. But then I carry the burden of ego all day. And in that journey, I'm losing my happiness, peace, the experience of bliss, everything. Yes, and if you just look around, we have relationships, we have roles, we have a body. But then how much of your energy, time, or thought actually goes into nurturing all of these? And how much of your energy, time, and thought just goes into being stressed about all of these because you are body conscious? Yes, so we usually give a very simple example for this. So let's say there is this remote and I have to pick it from here and put it in a different place because it belongs there. How much thought does that require? It requires one thought. You just pick and put it there. But then how many thoughts does it actually take? It takes 1,000 thoughts because you start thinking about whether it should be here and who placed it here and why do they not place it in the right place, and then why are you expected to pick it up all the time, and then how that determines your status in the surroundings where you live, and why other people have the privilege of putting it wherever they like, and how it is binding on you to put it back in the right place, and so on and so forth. So Baba says all of this is coming from body consciousness, the consciousness of bodily religions. Bodily religions means all this should and shouldn't. Yes, so this should be like this shouldn't be like that, this is right, this is wrong. Everything is coming from bodily religions. So we have been taught right, wrong, this is the way it should be and this is the way it shouldn't be. And Baba teaches one thing: it is what it is. And you do what makes sense to you. Do you understand? It is so simple. It is what it is. It is not what it is because of something. It is just what it is. It is neither good nor bad. It just is what it is. So you don't try to label what it is. Yes. So any scene in the drama, don't go into whether it is good, bad, right, wrong, desirable, not desirable. Just know that it is what it is. And then the next thing is, what do you want to do in it, or what makes sense to you, not what you're supposed to do. So, sometimes you create this thought, what am I supposed to do in this? And then you get very burdened out of it. So you are a knowledgeful, peaceful, loveful, blissful soul. Just ask yourself, what do you want to do in this situation, or what are you inspired to do in this situation? So if it makes sense to you to just put it back in the right place, you do it. And if it doesn't make sense to you, if you feel that it's okay lying there, that's also okay. There's no problem. Yes, so it is what it is, and I do what makes sense to me is a very easy way of living life. And you're not doing anything out of obligation, or you're not doing anything because you're supposed to do it. You're just doing it because that's what makes sense to you. And if something doesn't make sense to you, don't do it. Yes, don't do it. And then there will be consequences, maybe. Yes, you might lose on something because you are not doing what somebody is expecting you to. But then you should be willing to pay the price. So that's how it goes. And anyways, how long can you do something that doesn't make sense to you? Yes, ultimately you will give up. And when will you give up? You will give up at a moment when you'll be most tired. And then you'll not have the energy to choose a different course. Yes, so this is the difference between the power to tolerate and the power to face. So, whenever you make a choice about what makes sense to do in a certain situation, then maybe, you are being attacked by some emotions, or maybe there is some obstacle that you are encountering. And then what you do is you pay the price by using your power to tolerate. Yes, and then when you are also not willing to do something that doesn't make sense to you, and then there is some onslaught of anger, or somebody is getting bitter, or there are some problems and there are some behaviors that you're facing, or some losses, then you use the power to face. Yes, so Baba says, just emerge your powers and don't label any situation, any behavior. It is what it is, and just do what makes sense to you in that situation. And when you do that, you will need powers. And Baba has given us the powers, so we can just discern, decide, act. And when upon our acting there are obstacles, there are challenges, then you sometimes use the power to tolerate, sometimes you use the power to face. So life is very easy, and Baba says all the burden that you feel is because of this right, wrong, and this should and shouldn't. And Buddha told us that the reason for all sorrow is expectation. But what he didn't tell was the reason for expectation is body consciousness. Yes, so the reason for expectation is body consciousness, and you think that this one is supposed to be like that, and I am supposed to be like this, and I am supposed to do like this. No. Get rid of that supposed to. And I will tell you one thing. So there was this, and this is a very interesting incident. There was this young girl, she was a friend of mine. And then she was, I think she must have been 27, 28 years of age. And then one day she told me that, my mother doesn't stop me from doing anything these days. And so I said, is that a good thing or a bad thing? So she said, it's actually a bad thing, because up until now, my mother used to stop me from doing several things. Okay. And when she used to stop me, then all I needed to do was create a scene about everything. So whenever she stopped me, I used to create a big fuss, a big scene about everything, each thing that she stopped me. And then she allowed me some things, and I did that. And then she just kept being adamant about certain things, and I didn't do that. So basically, I had to make no decisions in life. And all I had to do was to arrive at the right decision. I had to create this big scene at home, and then the right decision would be arrived at. But now the problem is, when she doesn't stop me, I don't know what exactly to do and what to not do. Because if I feel like going and partying at night, and then she's not stopping me, I don't know whether to go or not. I don't know when to return or not. And I don't know what to do in the party or not do in the party. And then she said, you know what? I have slowly, gradually realized that now that she's not stopping me, I'm doing the same things that she would have allowed me to do. So I'm again, going back and thinking like she thinks, and then I am discerning what would she have told in this situation, and then I am almost making the same decisions that she would have made. But I hated her for 27 years for making those decisions for me. And I felt that probably I will make a different decision if left to myself. But now I don't know why, but I'm making the same decisions for myself, left alone. Do you relate to this example? It's a very interesting example. And then, so you know what? Sometimes, if you just listen to your knowledgeful self, that pure, peaceful core of you, you will arrive at a very good decision. And probably you will do most of the things that you're doing. But sometimes that wisdom gets shrouded in, I'm forced to do this, I'm supposed to do this, I'm expected to do this. And probably when you just free yourself from all this stuff, that you're doing it for someone or you're doing it because of something, then you will realize that you are making choices which come from the core of your heart, and you're still making very good decisions, you're still doing work, you're still going to office, you're still taking care of people. But I think this whole noise that bodily relations and religions and these create in our head, they kind of convince us that we are doing something that we don't like, but we are supposed to do. And if you just clear your head a bit, probably you will choose to do what you think now you're forced to do. So sometimes you feel you're forced to do something, but then left alone, you will choose the same thing probably. Yes, so if you were just left alone, would you not go to office? Would you leave everybody? Would you not cook? Would you not clean? You would do all that stuff, right? But then what is this whole thing about I have to do and I'm forced to do and I don't want to do? It's all coming from this clutter that I've created inside. So Baba says, just see yourself, unburden yourself from your own cobwebs that you have created inside, and just see yourself as a soul and as a knowledgeful, pure, peaceful, blissful entity, a powerful entity. And then just ask yourself, what is it that makes sense to you in this situation? And then listen to that core of you, which is being fed by Baba. And Baba is actually aligning us in such a way every day that if you just stopped and asked yourself what is the right thing to do in this situation, you would get an answer. And yesterday Baba was talking about satyata, truth, the power of truth. And I think this is truth. When you have knowledge which is true, and you start asking yourself what to do based on that truth that you're holding inside, then all your actions become true. All your actions become true actions, and that is the kind of action that brings about a revolution in the world. So just clear your head from all this I'm supposed to do and I'm obliged to do and I'm forced to do. No, there is no force on you. You are an eternal, imperishable soul. You're free. Yes, you're free. Just do what makes sense to you. And just do something you don't regret later. Yes, take into account all the knowledge that Baba has given you. Sit in a soul conscious state. Make a choice. Do what you think is the right thing to do. Don't be driven by emotions. Yes, be driven by very solid, foundation of knowledge and purity. And then do what makes sense to you, and you will not regret it later. And then Baba says, if there is something you have to face or tolerate because of that, do that. That's a very small price to pay. Yes, and half your problems will just be solved by getting rid of this I'm forced to do and I'm supposed to do, and just consider you're free. There is no force. What would you do? Yes, what would you do in that situation? Okay, so this is something that Baba is talking about, and Baba says that the children who renounce all their bodily relations while alive and have the faith that they are souls, those whose intellects have such faith are the ones who experience the omens of Jupiter over them. So you feel like something has shifted in the world for you. You feel like your Graha Dasha has shifted and now everything is going right for you. So Baba says, it is of them that it is remembered. If you want to know about super sensuous joy, ask the gopis and gopis. Their happiness can never disappear. So Baba says, and when you understand that, when you operate from that place, when you operate from that place of being a soul and being a soul that's loved by Baba and being a soul who is doing the right action, then you will always experience happiness, because happiness is the product of good karma. Happiness is the product of good karma. And you do anything with a consciousness, I have to do it and I am forced to do it, that's not good karma. You do something from a place of, this is what I want to do and this is what Srimad says and this is what I as a soul choose to do. That's good karma. And when you do this good karma, you will always experience happiness. People, I don't know why happiness has become such a big thing. Happiness is very easy. Happiness is the product of good karma. And do you know, in the life of Bill Gates, it is said that Bill Gates became a billionaire and a millionaire and then a billionaire very young, at a very young age. And then he didn't do charity work for a long time. And then he, once in his experience, he said that I became a millionaire, I became a billionaire, but I never felt happy until I donated. So that's how simple happiness is. Happiness comes from good karma. So Baba says that if you use your energy, your thought, your time, your wealth in seva, then it will give you happiness. Yes, keeping your body, lying on the bed, or keeping your mind thinking about waste thoughts, or using your wealth to buy stuff that you never use, or wasting your time in watching things that other people create to fool you, is not going to give you happiness. So Baba says, just know that you're a soul and just unburden yourself from all the conditioning and listen to your heart. And listen to a heart that's being filled with Baba's knowledge and Baba's love and purity. And when you listen to that heart, you will do the right thing. And then the product of doing that right thing will be happiness. And Baba calls it super sensuous joy. It's not happiness that comes and fizzles out, temporary, no. Eating an ice cream and then coughing all night. That's not the kind of happiness Baba is talking about. Baba is talking about super sensuous joy. Joy that stays with you. Joy that makes your face shine even in the face of adversities. So Baba says, when you're body conscious, you do the wrong karma and then you suffer for it. And wrong karma doesn't only depend on what you do, but how you are while you're doing it. The intention, the attitude, the feeling, everything determines the quality of karma. Yes. So now today is Satguruvar and Baba is explaining the significance of Satguruvar in today's Murli. So I will read that out very slowly to you, and you must understand why Satguruvar is of so much of importance in a Brahmin's life. Baba says, today is called the day of the Lord of the tree. So Baba says, Vriksh Pati Day. So the Lord of the tree is Baba, and this is Baba's day. Which tree? So you have all seen the picture of the Kalp Vriksh, the tree of humanity, and Baba is the Lord of that tree. So Baba says, this is my day. Then it is the day of the omens of Jupiter. That is why it is called Brihaspati Var, because Brihaspati's Dasha is on this day. Okay. It is this day that is called Thursday, the day of the Guru, Guruvar. It is not just the day of the Guru, but the day of the Satguru. It is not Guruvar, it is Satguruvar. In Bengal, people believe in this a great deal. The seed of the human world tree is remembered. So Baba is saying that in this whole, devotional practice, on Satguruvar, people remember the seed of the human tree. They are remembering the true Guru. They are remembering the Vrikshpati. They are remembering the Brihaspati. And all of these titles accrue to Baba. So Baba says, in this day, in bhakti also, people remember me a lot. So Baba says, the seed of the tree is also called the father. The tree emerges from him. This is the human world tree and its seed is up above. So if you see the picture of the soul world, then you see Baba is at the top and all the souls are downwards. So Baba says this is the only tree which has its seed upwards. So the seed is up above and everybody else is down, upside down tree. So Baba says, you children know you have the imperishable omens of Jupiter over you, because you are now receiving imperishable self-sovereignty. And Baba says this is the practical time when you are actually in Brihaspati ki Dasha. And you actually have the omens of Jupiter over you. And Baba says, why is this time so special? Because at this time, you are receiving imperishable self-sovereignty. And Baba has told us that if you are a self-sovereign, you will become a world sovereign. Swaraj Adhikari, so Vishwaraj Adhikari. So Baba is teaching us how to become a self-sovereign at this time, how to know you are a soul, and how to come to your power, your freedom, your lightness, how to come to your purity, and how to reclaim your power. And Baba says, this is the way to become, being empowered is the way to become powerful. So Baba says, I'm teaching you all of this at this time. So this is the most auspicious time in the whole of the cycle. And Baba says the golden age is called the imperishable land of happiness, whereas the iron age is called the perishable land of sorrow. The land of sorrow is now to be destroyed. The land of happiness is imperishable. It continues for half the cycle and it is established by the imperishable Lord of the tree. So Baba says, you are actually experiencing in real time Brihaspati Var at this Sangam Yug. And Baba says the symbol for this whole Sangam Yug is celebrated as Brihaspati Var in devotion. So people have actually appointed one day to remember this whole auspicious Sangam Yug. So this is why this day is very important. And Baba says this is the day of the Satguru as celebrated in Bhakti. And you are truly experiencing the blessings of the Satguru right now, Satguru Baba. So this day is of a lot of relevance for you. And this is why we offer Bhog on this day. And let us understand one important aspect here. So in bhakti, people celebrate a lot of things. Yes. And when we come to Gyan, we also celebrate the same things. Yes, we don't celebrate some new festivals. We celebrate Holi, Diwali, Shiv Jayanti, Raksha Bandhan, Janmashtami. We do the same things. But we do it essentially. Okay? In bhakti also people attach a little bit of, importance to Guruvar or Satguruvar. But they don't do it with this consciousness. Baba says, you also attach importance to Satguruvar, but you do it in an essential manner because you understand that actually Satguru Baba is teaching you. And you are in complete awareness that truly I have Brihaspati ki dasha on me right now. So Brihaspati var is actually going on for me. And then you are truly with the Lord of the tree, Vrikshpati. So it makes sense for you to understand the relevance of Satguruvar right now. Okay, so Baba, we don't have different festivals. We observe the same days that they do in bhakti, but we do it with the truth and with essence in our buddhi. It is said that on Thursday we should follow certain things like don't cut nails or not wash head. Is it true? No, Baba says that this whole Sangam Yug is the age of the Satguru, and it's not about not washing your head or not cutting nails. It's about observing what Baba gives you as Srimad. That's not hurting anybody, not giving sorrow, not taking sorrow, being pure. These are the things that we have to observe, not these things. Now what happens is, in bhakti there is a practice that when you can't do something really, use a substitute for it. Yes, you go to an astrologer, what will they tell you? You don't have a real diamond, take a fake one. It will do the same work, only less intensity. Yes, so this is how bhakti is observed. So Baba says that because people were not able to follow the true Srimad, yes, people were not able to do some things and not do some things. So what is Srimad? Don't do some things and do some things, right? That is Srimad. Yes, how to be and how to, Baba has given us certain directions about how to think, how to be, how to not be, what to do, what to not do. These are the things that Baba teaches us. And then because people were not able to do and be the way Baba said, they devised a different code, a substitute code. So, don't cut nails, don't wash head. Yes. So that's not what actually makes a difference. And did you note in yesterday's Murli, Baba said something very nice. Baba said, mothers often ask me, we have to beat up children, is that okay? Sometimes I slap my child, is that okay? So Baba says that is not a very important matter. You slapped your child once, that's not very huge. What's more important is whether you are engaging in lust or not. Yes, so sometimes you get caught up in the small things. Baba says, no, that's not the important thing. Kam mahashatru hai, not krodh. And kameshu krodeshu. So if you have desire, if you have lust, you will have anger. And just think about why a mother slaps a child. Because he is not doing what she expects him to do. Yes, that's why the child is getting slapped. Now, why is this expectation so profound? Because you have this sanskar of expectation, kamna, and that kamna is being fueled by kam vikar. So if you don't give up on lust, you will never give up on anger. Yes? If you can't stop yearning for another person's body, you will never stop yearning for another person's, sweet words or their appropriate behavior or whatever. So all this is a sanskar. So Baba says, because people couldn't think about the seed of the problem, they just started working on the branches of the tree. And again, these artificial methods were put up, where you can't donate a part of your mind, body, and wealth. What you do is you donate something else. You bring a goat, chop it up. You donate a goat. So that's how bhakti is going on. So Baba says, you have to do as I say. And this is what you're supposed to do in this auspicious time of Sangam Yuga. And today I want to talk about something before we finish. So Baba has talked about one sanskar that we have. And Baba says, that each one of you can check your own stage. What will I have achieved if I leave my body at this time? So, right at this moment, if I leave my body, what will I achieve? What will be my future? Each of you can understand this for yourself. The more you remember the Father, the more your sins will be absolved. When people experience any difficulty or sorrow or they go bankrupt, they go and seek the company of sages. They would consider that person to be a religious person, that he wouldn't cheat anyone. Even such people become very wealthy in 2 to 4 years. They have a lot of money hidden away. Each of you can use your intellect to understand. Among you, there are also many who remember Baba very little. This is why Baba says, if you want to benefit yourself, keep a notebook with you. Note down in your chart how much you remember Baba throughout the whole day. Some people even write their whole life story. You just have to write your chart of remembrance. So, do you know that sometimes, because we are listening to truth and because we are in the company of good souls, we forget to notice that on the inside, what we are doing is very different from what we are hearing and the company that we are in. This is a very big form of self-deception. Yes, because you're wearing white clothes, because you are, attending classes, and because you are listening to Baba's Murli, and because you are keeping the company of Brahmins, sometimes you will fool yourself into believing that you are actually a very good yogi. But Baba says, just be very careful to check what you are actually thinking, speaking, and doing all day. So that's keeping a chart. And if you don't keep your chart, you will never know what you are doing and what your final stage will be. And this we do so unconsciously that sometimes I think this is the biggest act of self-deception, and we don't even realize we are doing this. We are not deceiving anybody else, we are deceiving ourselves. So Baba says, just check, are you actually practicing soul consciousness and are you remembering Baba? Or are you still remembering people and places and things? And if you're doing that, then you are not soul conscious, you're very body conscious. And then at the final moment, you will be shocked. You will not be able to leave the body in a state of peace. So Baba says, don't deceive yourself like this. And Baba says, there are thugs and cheats in the world. They go and, become a part of the gang of sadhus, and then they start behaving like a sadhu externally. But what they do is internally, they do that same thugging and cheating what they did earlier. So are you becoming that kind of a sadhu? So Baba knows everything. So Baba is asking us to check very deeply and check very physically. Maintain a proper chart every day. Every hour you have to check. Go inside. See what's actually going on. Who were you remembering? Okay. Om Shanti. Have 1 minute of patience and then we'll offer bhog to Baba. There are some souls who have sent special remembrances, and we will offer bhog to Baba